Our district is a relatively large district here in Louisiana. EBR is I believe it's the second largest district actually here. Currently, we service over 40,000 students here in our district. I am the elementary alternative school. And so what that means for us is we have 53 elementary schools, including a couple of our charters outside of the 53 that I service. And so basically any student that is expelled, suspended, overage, and parents who just request to continue to keep their children in our program, they ultimately come to me. Most of our students that we get, they're very low performing academically, hence they act out in behavior in order to get put out, because normally the schools do not have great interventions or remediation programs in place to assist them. I've always been big in interventions and bridging the instructional gap. So what happens is a lot of times we get confused with intervention versus remediation, especially when you get students who are extremely low. So the one thing that we knew is that we needed a pocket of time where students can literally just focus on what their gaps are before we added any on-level instruction, before we even looked at that component. And so we've always, as a district, focused on having school-wide interventions. It's just that we've been hit or miss with what program to use. And so what I have found is that Classworks works best as far as that intervention piece is when I can just shut down the entire campus and I can say everyone is doing Classworks during this block of time. My teachers monitor it, my parents are monitoring it, and the children are focused because they know this is the time we go to Classworks. Everyone's doing it. No one's off task. You're not doing one thing and I'm doing another thing. And so I think it goes with building in the routine. So the routines and procedures of our campus this is the culture of our campus. We do Classworks every day. That's just what we do. Instead of me having to spend an additional 45 minutes every day focusing on small group instruction, I can use this to help me with teaching the children the skills that they do not have. So for most of my teachers, it was like a no-brainer. Once it was explained to them. Literally, we have Classworks and we have one other intervention that we use. They've been able to look at not only the data that Classworks provide, but they're looking at the data from what we did last year with the students who were here and how they were able to grow successfully. So they have that. Then they have the additional support of the leadership team in assisting them. We also provide time for them to kind of get some training. And, so I think for them, it was just like, yes, this works. It's a program that we can use. I don't have to go do a whole lot of planning. And even once we started looking at some of the newer reports and things of that nature after our last meeting, they're excited because they can go and they can see what standards the children are deficient in. What can I actually pull within my small group instruction in the classroom? So it gives them a lot of leverage. Our teachers have also aligned core instruction with Classworks. And so what I did was my technology person actually she gets the unit plans from the teacher. And from those unit plans, she pulls all of the standards that the teacher is teaching in that unit. She creates the pathway for the teachers into an individualized, learning pathway based on those standards. The way our classes are structured, we have a whole group component, but we also have a small group component. So for example, if a teacher is teaching main idea and supporting details, she'll do her 15-20 minute whole group spiel. But then the children, maybe 10 of the children will go get on Classworks and work on that main idea skill while she pulls a smaller group and focuses on that. And then they'll flip-flop. So it takes out the days of having to go create a workstation. They're getting the on-level instruction almost the same way they get their interventions. The way we do progress monitoring, our children are trained that when they log into Classworks during their intervention time for Classworks, that's that 45-minute block, I always teach them, we're elementary, so I say do green first. Like that is their thing, do green first. The other thing that I like this year, and this is kind of a shout out to you guys, I like the new format of note taking. note-taking in Classworks, we needed to have a place where we can track whether it was an academic issue versus a behavior issue. And so that added piece for us is like amazing, because we can go in, we can put that in, and then when I'm showing my data to my supervisor and the district, it's like wham bam, thank you ma'am. It's like right here. My academic specialist, my technology specialist, they'll go into the system, and as they're going in, or if they're popping in on students and they're doing an observation, they can plug something in at least once a week that keeps us in track of what's going on with the children in that progress monitoring piece. We have had a lot of focus on our exceptional student services program. We're underneath the microscope, for a lack of a better way to say it. And so they've created this entirely new document that forces the teachers to have to do so much more paperwork. And so literally they have to create assessments, they have to mark progress, all of that. And so what's happening for our teachers is they literally can just print out progress reports from Classworks and attach it or upload it, and it's like it's done for them, and so that's been amazing as well. So that's another great thing, about being able to use it, is because literally I can do, it doesn't matter the grade level of the child, I can assign so much to them based on what they actually need. So for IEP purposes, it's great. For our 504s, our students who have accommodations but they're not technically IEPs, they have ADHD and all of those things, we can shorten assignments, we can lengthen assignments, we can create assessments. It's the possibilities are endless. We use the assessment piece for our students. Our teachers, after they're teaching, they might have some standards in the unit that they don't want to assess on. So instead of them using a district-based assessment, they can just go plug in the standards that they want in the assessment that class, created an assessment in Classworks, give it, it calculates it for them, done. Less is more. Definitely streamlining whatever it is that you're going to do. We want to do 5-6 interventions on a campus. We have 5 different programs on a campus. And so the first thing is what works best for children, and secondly, what is easier for your teachers, to manage. And so I believe that if you can streamline yourself to where you have maybe 2 interventions max, in place, then I think that'll definitely help them. I also think just ensuring that your teachers are supported. That big piece is the support, because teachers will do almost anything for you if they feel like you have their backs. And that's my thing. My teachers know I jump in classes, I teach, like if I have to. It is what it is. Everybody's not built like me to teach, and that's fine, but as an administrator, there are things that you can put in place to help it, the teacher feel like they're supported. Like, for example, even, having one person that monitors progress monitoring, that's maybe not the teacher. If you have an additional power, if you have somebody who can pop in and say, hey, we need to check on XYZ, just putting those little pieces in place so that the teachers are feeling supported, and minimizing the amount of interventions, or the amount of programs, should I say, that you're requiring your teachers to use, because I just feel like teachers are overwhelmed enough. It's a very flexible platform that can be used pretty much anywhere, and any type of schedule, any type of, you can use it for homework. You can, I just feel like the possibilities are endless. Like eventually we'll go back to our after school programming that we normally do every year. That was something we used for that, and it worked. It worked very well because, in the after school program, you normally don't have certified teachers. You normally have teachers aides, paraprofessionals, student workers. And so they don't know enough about curriculum in order to teach children after school, right? So Classworks is one of those that can be used in that platform. I have kids that do Classworks on the weekend. Like, they get bored, they just log on, they're just like, hey, let me use this Classworks. So, and the parents like it because it's kind of like they don't really have to do any assistance with them either, So I think I would say the flexibility of it, the versatility of it. Thank you guys for having me. This is an honor.